Hi, my name is Alexandra Holdren, and today we will be answering the question of whether or not Starbucks should enter Italy's market. But before we do that, I would like for us to zoom out on the concept of global marketing and then zoom a little bit back in on two key practices used in global marketing. One is standardization and the other is adaptation. They are both very different, but both extremely important to take into consideration when you are going to market to the world. So standardization is essentially mass marketing. And our class notes describe it as the essence of mass marketing. So you're marketing one product or one brand the same way to everyone everywhere with no consideration to what they might personally believe. You're just giving off one unified message. And that can actually be an extremely big pro for standardization because some people actually really like the idea of a brand being unified and strong in one message and what they want to present to the world. And it can also, another pro of that is how easy it is to market with standardization. I mean, you're marketing the same way to everyone everywhere. It's exponentially cheaper to do so because you're not worrying about, tailoring your marketing strategy for each individual culture, country, etc. But that can lead to some pretty big cons as well. One being that it alienates consumers and the messages don't always resonate. So some consumers might feel like they're not being seen because the marketing of a product might not be taking into consideration what they believe. And one message that resonates with, US consumers might not resonate with those who live on the other side of the world or in Europe. They can really vary, and that can harm your marketing and how much you make, your bottom line essentially. And that's where adaptation can be really, really beneficial to a company. Adaptation is described as global localization, or as our class notes lovingly described it as glocalization, which I love that term because it's mixing standardized products with customization to really hone in on the individualism and uniqueness of each segment. And our class notes called it the essence of segmentation. So really targeting different members of the groups that you're marketing towards, that can be really, really important. So one pro of adaptation is the recognition that consumers feel, as well as another pro being culturally sensitive. So when a company or brand is culturally sensitive and is marketing towards a specific culture, country, region, etc., it can make those consumers feel really, really great and want to spend more money because why wouldn't they? Obviously, this brand is paying attention to them and what they believe is important. So obviously, it resonates with them. They want to purchase more products. But there are some cons with that being said. But yeah, it's definitely important to take these into consideration. One con is higher cost. Obviously, you are marketing towards multiple people, multiple segments, rather than one group. And it can be really time consuming. Trying to gather information on each, each region, country, culture, that can be really time consuming and can take a while to gather that information. And then to get the data on consumer responses to the products or to the marketing, that can take a long time as well. So those are the two cons, the high cost and time consuming. So with that being said, should we, Starbucks, enter Italy's market? I think it's worth a shot. In the video that we watched, a lot of the Italians who were in line at the Starbucks in Milan were quite reluctant to go in even. They thought that, it would be kind of like a mockery, or it wouldn't be as good as what they created. But they found that they were wrong, and that is because of adaptation. So I definitely believe that Starbucks should enter Italy's market, but to adapt the 4 Ps. If anything were to be standardized, it might be the product. However, promotion, placement, price, that should all be adapted to Italy, into the different cities in Italy. So promotion should be adapted to each individual city, or the people, or the demographic in each region of Italy. The product could be standardized, but the names could change from what we might call it here, which they actually did, or they can completely change the product. So that could be adapted as well. That's really subjective. And placement should be adapted. Here in the US, we see a lot of our Starbucks ads on TV and on online. So maybe that could change in Italy, or in the different cities in Italy. They might appreciate different types of marketing, like billboards or ads elsewhere. And then price should be adapted, because in the video, we actually heard that people in Italy don't like American prices. They like things that are cheaper, because items there are cheaper in Italy than they are here in the US. We have higher inflation rates, I'm assuming. So that's definitely important to take into consideration as well. So if anything, all 4 of the P's should be adapted before entering fully into Italy. And that's why I believe that it would be worth a shot for Italians to accept Starbucks, and for Starbucks to be, a new coffee shop over in Italy. So thank you. Have a great day.